Okay, parents, this video is for you. I want to talk quickly about sleep. Now, I've been talking about sleep in these short format, what they talk about vertical videos, right, for the phone for your son or daughter, everything from Instagram to YouTube to Twitter to TikTok. I've got videos on TikTok too. Here's the bottom line. Let's go into a little more depth about why it's important, okay? The bottom line, and this is a great book. I think you should buy my book for your son or daughter at the end of the cross-country season, but this is a fantastic book, Peak Performance by Brad Stulberg and Steve Magnus. In this book, I'll just put it down here. In this book, they talk about stress plus rest equals growth. So that's a really elegant way to talk about something we talk about in here, where I talk about keep your easy days easy so your hard days can be hard. And the physiology we're talking about here, this is the curve from Hans Selye, the general adaptation syndrome curve. So this is essentially homeostasis here. We have a workout or a race at this point, and then we've got some time where the athlete needs to be rested, but then super compensation happens. So the body makes, it's exactly what that word sounds like, super compensation. That's where fitness is gained. And the bottom line is, here we are in the middle of October. You might have a son or daughter who's got 1 or 2 weeks left because they're running the junior varsity or they're running open races. If your athlete's on the varsity, maybe they have 3 or 4 weeks left. In the state of Colorado right now, there's a really cool league meet tomorrow where everybody gets to race, and then 2.5 weeks from now is our state championship for athletes. Your athlete might be 3 or 4 or 5 weeks away from their state meet. But the bottom line is this. They can't go back, and your son or daughter can't go back and have done better training this summer. The volume that they did is already done. They can't go back to September and have done more race pace workouts. And, let's be honest, they can't go back and have shown up to that workout with the focus of, hey, I'm going to execute as well as I can today. I think high school athletes do a great job in this day and age showing up on race day, ready to go, ready to compete, okay? I think sometimes it's harder with especially younger athletes to show up for all the important practices. And granted, not every practice is as important as every other one, but all of the key workouts, and especially workouts where they're running race pace, something I talk about a lot in here, your son or daughter can't go back and have executed those workouts better. So the question I have for you and that you can help them with is, what can you do now in the month of October to assure that they race to their fitness level, okay? This is a bit of a tangent, but it's important. You can't race better than your fitness level. The whole idea of, we're going to run 110%, we're going to give 110% effort, that's silly. There's 100%, right? And my point is they have a 100% fitness level. If they can race to 95 or 96% of that, that's fantastic. If they can execute a race plan that follows exactly what their coach has laid out for them, that's what we want. And the point I want to make to you is if they are not well rested, they will not be able to do that. So what I'm about to show you, you can download for free, and there'll be a link. I've got excerpts from the book. The book is 15 points, 15 keys to help a high school athlete unlock their potential. And key number 13 is remember to sleep. And what I want to share here is the sleep table. Now, this is taken from Paul Vanderstein, the boys coach at Neuqua Valley High School in Illinois. His boys have won the Nike Cross Nationals, okay? Here's the bottom line. If an athlete has to wake up at 6:30 a.m., and this is what's brilliant about the table, we're starting with what the wake-up time is. Everybody does the math wrong. We say, hey, I think I need to go to bed at this time because I think I'm waking up at that time. It gets to be really fuzzy math. This is black and white. I'm waking up at 6:30. And he has awful, bad, I love that he has awful, by the way, awful sleep. Awful, bad, minimal, and I like that he has minimal too. Mediocre, good, and champion. So the athlete that has to wake up at 6:30, minimal sleep is 10:30. You can obviously do the math and say, 8 hours of sleep. Your child is growing. Your child is training hard. Your child is a human in a stressful 2021 world, right? Those are 3 reasons why they need adequate rest. But what we want is good sleep, so that's 9:30. And this one might sound crazy to you. That champion sleep for the athlete that's waking up at 6:30 is to go to bed at 9 p.m. I had a chance to work with a lot of serious high school athletes this summer in my summer training program. And I knew they were serious. But man, it blew my mind how they were willing to do all the little things, whether it was, the non-running work, the soft tissue work after the runs with the lacrosse ball, mini bands as the warm-up, doing all the workouts and trusting the workouts that I talk about in here that maybe are a little different, fartleks and whatnot. Those types of kids, if both you and I explain to them, hey, going to bed at 9 p.m., is one of the only variables you can control right now in October, and you will race faster if you do that. That is a beautiful gift that you can give them. Now, and to bring it back to, I'm their parent, and I don't want to be preaching this stuff, and I don't even know if their coach highlights it. That's where you can find me on social media. I'm at Coach Jay Johnson. That's Jay. I'll have it down here. You can, whether they're on TikTok, whether they're on Instagram, in short videos, these things are being shared with them. But what I want you to know as a parent, and why don't we leave with this? So often I see parents getting really focused on nutrition. And as I talk about, and consistency is key, it's not that that's a bad thing, but in a sport where disordered eating is a real thing, and disordered eating is something that kind of the kernel of that, the seed of that can start in high school and become a real issue as the athlete goes into college and becomes an adult athlete. So often parents say, okay, championship season, we got to eat really clean, whether, and we won't go into should that be carb loading or whatever. The bottom line is, if an athlete's sleeping really well, and then what I like to see them do nutrition-wise is have, a meal or 2 or 3 or 4 a week that's really clean, that looks just like the meals that they see their favorite pro runner posting on Instagram. And then they have other meals that are just like a high school kid, not even a high school athlete, just a high school kid, right? Focus on sleep. Don't worry about nutrition too much. And just know that when you're encouraging them to get to bed early, that's really going to have an important effect. Here's one last thing you can share with them. Sleep is a performance enhancer, right? So we're in a day and age following the Olympics where we hear about performance enhancing drugs, and I would argue that sleep is a performance enhancer. Obviously, they're not cheating if they're sleeping well, and it's something that obviously doesn't cost anything either. Okay, please reach out to me. Oh, and here's one thing too. I'm sharing my email right now. It's jay@coachjjohnson.com. I respond to emails. I don't respond to I just don't check all the various social medias to get DMs or messages or comments and whatnot. So if you ever need to reach out to me, jay@coachjjohnson.com, and I'm just here to help athletes and parents and coaches. Thank you.